this is the first time since the invention of the internet actually became like widely available, and people could actually do things with it, where AI will completely reshape and revamp the way that the mortgage industry actually looks.
Welcome to Powerhouse, where we interview the biggest names in housing and ask them about their strategy for growth. I'm Diego Sanchez, president of HousingWire. My guest today is Jason Bressler, Chief Technology Officer at United Wholesale Mortgage. Jason, it's so great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So let's dive right into it. You made a big announcement recently on LinkedIn about a partnership with Sphere LOS. Could you give us some more detail about that partnership?
Yeah, I don't know that I would call it a partnership as much as I would an announcement. Sphere is a standalone from UWM. So it is a loan origination system, a CRM, a POS, and the product and pricing engine put together in one seamless flow. And so we've never in the history of UWM, and definitely in my time as the Chief Technology Officer here for the last 9 years, have ever wanted to directly integrate with any other LOS for a variety of reasons, but mainly because, it becomes difficult to manage disparate and different loan origination systems based off of kind of how they interact. The reason that Sphere became so kind of appetizing for us to actually start to have a lot of connections with was because it's the same type of overall experience workflow that the broker community wants. And the fact that they were so into being able to offer it for 2 years for free to guarantee migration and adoption, it literally is the same thing that UWM would do in those same type of situations. And so this was the first time that I really thought, this is something that we should actually explore.
Yeah, that makes sense. Before you made the announcement, I had never heard of Sphere LOS. Why did you choose them for this first tight integration with your platform?
Well, it's made up of several different companies that have decades of experience in the mortgage space and have wanted to, for years, to put together an all-in-one system that didn't have the disparity that right now exists in the marketplace. And, almost any retail shop, but definitely in the wholesale community, there is no system that goes end to end with a seamless flow and allows for all of those things to really come together. I mean, I literally spend my career in finding technical efficiencies in everything that I do, in everything that UWM does. And this was the first system that actually did the same thing, and outside of the UWM universe, and that somebody had built it separately. And that all of that was incredibly intriguing to me to actually want to start taking the steps towards integrating in a very holistic way with them.
There are other platforms that are broker LOSs, similar to Sphere LOS. Do you anticipate doing partnerships with some of those other platforms, or do you plan to stick with Sphere LOS for now?
Not yet. I don't think so. I mean, so right now I want to see how this goes and see how the integration is and what that flow is and what the adoption looks like. And, that's going to take a little bit of time, for people to actually make some moves. I did create the UWM portal, which does allow for all of these other LOSs to have a direct connection, but the loan officers have to go through the UWM portal in order to take advantage of it. So they can't just download a 3.4 and upload it into our e-system. So they do have to go through the portal. And we do have a lot of adoption with that, with, other LOSs, with Arrive and Encompass and Calyx and LendingPad. Those are all in there right now. So we do have that level of integration, just not this direct integration that we do with Sphere.
Now, you have a pretty big technology team at UWM. Why didn't you just build your own broker LOS?
It's something that we've thrown around over time for years and years. The biggest issue when it comes to actually creating an LOS and then offering that out to the entirety of the wholesale space is it lacks the competition at that point. Like, what other lenders are going to want to be in a loan origination system that UWM is built and produces and maintains? And we are not, and this is really one of the biggest points, and really why I love the integration with Sphere specifically, is because it's not a UWM product, and because it has that all-in workflow. I would hope allows for the entire community to understand we're not trying to get people into our ecosystem. We're not trying to take data. We're not mining for anything. Like, we're not like any other big mortgage company. The reason that Sphere became so important, and for us not to build it and actually do this integration for it, is because it really helps the two groups that are most important to UWM, brokers and consumers. And so it allows for brokers to have this very seamless workflow, to have it for free for 2 years. And that it then at that point allows consumers to get even lower costs when brokers don't have to pay for 2 years and then have a very minimal cost after that, to make sure that, part of their operating system and the way that they do business is covered in things like that. And that's what's made UWM successful. We've built all these technology products, and then we give them away for free. And in most cases, you don't even have to use UWM. I mean, we obviously want you to, but we're trying to do it to continually level the playing field. And that's what this really does for the wholesale community.
Yeah, and I get how free can be attractive, but over time, you do need some kind of economic model to support the software that you develop. Do you have any concerns in this integration about the economic model at Sphere OLS and how they make money?
I don't necessarily have any concerns. They have set themselves up to be able to absorb the next 2 years for integration, and they're actually doing custom work and making sure that the system is really tailored to the people that use it. And I would expect, as adoption and migration continues to grow, and as they start to near the end of that 2-year scope, that everybody will continue to stay with them, and they've accounted for that. And so they should then be able to, continue on and move forward and I would assume have a very profitable model.
And how are you planning to support this integration from UWM's perspective?
So, what we've done is created our own APIs to be able to have that integration piece. And then we work directly with Sphere's development team to make sure that the connection specifically for UWM was set exactly the way that I want it and exactly the way that they want it, and have that workflow through there. And so we've got a very good working collaborative environment between UWM and Sphere to be able to continue to support, grow, enhance, do whatever we really need to do that would support the broker community. So,
big announcement. What else are you cooking up with that big tech team that you have at UWM?
I mean, I would say, if you come to UWM Live, you'll definitely see, because that's really, we tend to make our largest announcements at the biggest conferences. So, we'll definitely have some large announcements at UWM Live. We'll have them at the AIM Fuse conference out in October. But right now, what our focus is, because I'm 100% build versus buy. We build. It's why the IT team here is, over 1,800 team members working in the office, is because we made the commitment to go build versus buy. So everything is being built. But 2 years ago, like even as I was speaking at the HousingWire AI Summit, is, we've not just, kind of dipped our toes into the AI waters. We belly flopped straight in and went right to work. And so as we continue to look at our tech stack, our products, the rewrites, the real, from a technical aspect, the real value and the real scalability, and what really will set UWM apart, for years to come, is building a true AI consumable platform for everything that we do, and having it be agentic and built properly so that we can actually develop product much, much faster even than we do right now. And we still develop right now at a breakneck pace. And, that really is so much of the work that, I've got 1,800 people focused on right now.
I love that 100% build versus buy or partner. Really, really interesting. You are actually our keynote at our July 2024 AI Summit, which was a sold out event, packed room. How do you see artificial intelligence helping UWM win market share in the wholesale channel, which is what it's all about at the end of the day?
Well, I think everybody approaches AI in a little bit of a different way. And, I have, I think, a somewhat unique take on it in the fact that I've only been in IT and I've only been in the mortgage industry for the last 28 years. So my entire career. So I understand mortgages really well, and I do understand the technology very well. And, this is, I think, the time, and a lot of places aren't quite embracing this yet. And I think that's really because they're not totally sure how, which absolutely makes sense. But this is the first time since the invention of the internet actually became like widely available, and people could actually do things with it, where AI will completely reshape and revamp the way that the mortgage industry actually looks. I think too many people are looking at saying, yep, we're invested in AI, so we'll do something. We'll do a chat bot, or we'll, calculate income, and, we'll find some vendor that can, maybe do that for us. This is an amazing time for somebody who really is a solutionist and really understands this to completely revamp the entirety of the workflow of what mortgages are, how they're done, and how they can be more efficient in the future, and how they can be cheaper and better for consumers and for our broker partners, and really making sure that, we're setting them up for two specific things that are the most important to them. One is, how do we get you more business, and how do we get all your time set on getting more business? And then two, how do we close loans as fast as possible for you? So when I really look at this, I look at this more in the, how do we weather the cyclical nature of the mortgage industry? It's been a long time since we were in the very standard, every 12 months there was a cycle. Purchase market would pick up sometime in late February, early March. That would continue until around Thanksgiving, and then it would just die. And so many companies would have to lay off their operational staff and tell them, like, hey, it does tend to be feast or famine, but, assuming the market picks back up in March, we'd love to have you back, and we hope that you will come back to be able to handle that volume. But nobody wants to do that. That's not a great game to play. And so, at UWM, we have, 8,500, 9,000 team members right now. We've never had a layoff in 36, 37 years. We're not going to. But what we want to say is, okay, if our volume is at a good clip right now, which it is, how do we double it, triple it, quadruple it, and never have to hire anybody again? How do I make sure that these 9,000 team members can handle all that volume? And that's where AI really comes in. It's saying, hey, we will take care of you. You are a part of our family at UWM. You always have a position with us, but we want to be able to handle that influx of volume. And then even as it decreases and rates go up, that we are perfectly staffed with the technology and what we have in place to be able to do that. That's what's going to differentiate UWM from every other mortgage company.
Yeah, and I love that you boil it down to getting more business and then surprising and delighting the people that you win more business with.
Exactly.
And that makes total sense to me. So you frequently post on LinkedIn about this amazing technology team that you've built at UWM. And it's clear to me that you love mentoring and managing technology leaders. Tell me more about what that team of technology leaders is building and the product roadmap, to the extent that you can share it. I know you have events coming up, but would love to get a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate you checking out the LinkedIn page. And yeah, I mean, for me, everything is about the team. I tell my team all the time, we have like very large all IT meetings every week, but then we gather in person once a quarter. And, for me, every great strategist starts off with a pillar or two that they really commit to. And that's all that they can do, because you have to be so obsessed with it all the time that you can let nothing get in its way. So for me, I literally only have one pillar, and it's people. People is everything to me. If you find the right people and you engage them and you motivate them and you show them the path, you literally can do anything. And that really is what we've built here. We're ridiculously unorthodox. We are in the office every day. And so, I'm in Southeast Michigan. That's a somewhat of a limited talent pool, to be able to have 1,800 team members from. And so half of our team has never been in IT before they started working for me. And so we've trained them from the ground up. Most of them have come from the business. So they've come from underwriting and operations and risk and compliance and things like that. And then we train them how to code, how to be a BA, how to get into networking and enterprise technology. Doesn't really matter what it is, because if you understand what you're building and what you're supporting, that is literally half the battle. And I can teach you anything. And then the other half are very experienced IT professionals that are coming in, and we're so big on solutioning, on understanding what we're doing and what we're building and who we're building it for. All of our team members use our technology. The entire broker community uses our technology. So we get that feedback loop all the time. So we're actually solutioning as an IT organization for the broker community, for our team members. And that's what we'll continue to do. And that's, even what our roadmap looks like right now. But it all does fall back into this mass AI consumable platform. And that really is what we're working on. If you look at a tech stack of anybody that moves as fast as we do, over time, you just accumulate technical debt. It's a very normal process. It happens all the time. But again, just like the mortgage industry is going to be so impacted by the advent of AI and how it seeps into everything that we do, it's the same thing with my technology team. Is we have an opportunity right now to literally revamp and rewrite our tech stack and make it so much more efficient, so that we can not just create, a couple of huge products a couple times a year, but now we can actually do 50 a year and make them so impactful and so big to the broker community and for our team members. And that's really where I'm focused right now.
The challenge that I have as an executive with AI is, it's like, I don't know what I don't know. And I don't know how it could benefit HousingWire as a media business. And I imagine it's difficult to figure out how it can benefit UWM as the leader in the wholesale channel. How are you prioritizing and developing that vision for AI when you're likely not getting a lot of feedback from folks on, like, this is what I want you to do with AI? You kind of have to build it yourself. Yeah.
So, again, our executive team here has been in the mortgage industry for a while, and we built our own system so we can look at things and say, hey, could we create, large language modeling around the underwriting and the operational pieces, and what can we do with RPA and things like that? But as it relates to this IT team and really how we do things, I have a very, very bottoms up approach to leadership. And like, I do open office hours every week. People can come talk to me about literally anything they want. Their pay, the tech stack, the decisions that I make, the strategy of where we're going. It literally does not matter to me. I want everybody to know that they can come see me at any point for anything, but that also means ideas and feedback. And I am very, very empowering. So if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I had this idea, do you think we could try something like this? I will absolutely let them run. And I probably get 20 of those a week of different ideas of people who have been in the mortgage industry, who have used the technology, who understand the pain points, of the team that they used to be on, for instance, will come in and say, hey, I really think we could do something around this, and I'll let them run with that. Same thing with a lot of experienced people coming in is they come in and they have these different ideas of things that they have wanted to do with AI, but nobody's ever given them the actual, launching pad for. I'm happy to do that. I would love to do that and see what happens with it. I'm really big on failure. I want everybody on my team to fail. And if they don't, I don't even want them working for me, because if you're not taking risks and you're not trying to fail, how are we going to get better faster? And so I'd rather empower everybody to fail, learn from that, and then start building off of that. And that's honestly where most of our best ideas have come from.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the feedback loop that you've developed between the technology team at UWM and the broker community?
Sure. Yeah. So I will put myself out there to any broker, no matter how much how much business they do, how little business they do. If you're a partner with UWM, you have a direct line to me in the exact same way that every broker in that same scenario has a direct line to Matt Ishbia. And so I really want to make sure that I am soliciting feedback, and I do it all the time. I send out videos to the brokers. I meet with them for Success Track every week. I am always asking them, what do you want to see? a lot of times we have so much technology product that they don't even know everything that we have and what we offer. And so sometimes it's just education, but really what most of it is putting a face to a face and having brokers really feel like, you know what, I can reach out to the chief technology officer at United Wholesale Mortgage with any idea that I have. And some of them are phenomenal. Some of them, maybe a little bit sillier, not something that we want to invest in, but almost all of them are either, hey, we actually already built this, and so it's here for you. Or, hey, that's a really good idea. Can I put you as part of a pilot group? And I'm going to, segregate a small amount of my team to start working on this right now. Well, they love that because now you're part of the process and you're making the entire American economy better from these small ideas that you have that we can actually produce. And so that feedback loop, while it started off a little bit slow, 7-8 years ago, now is really in full ramp up mode. And, I probably over, specifically since we announced, that we were going to integrate with Sphere, I probably talked to, over 1,000 brokers in the last couple of days just on, hey, this is why we did it. This is what it means. Here's who you can reach out to. But then also hey, but what else do you want to see? Like, how else can I help you? How can I make you more efficient? And taking their ideas and trying to bring them to fruition.
When is the next event where you're going to unveil some more cool stuff?
I think it's May 14th and 15th at UWM Live here in Pontiac.
Amazing. Well, Jason, I really appreciate you joining me today on Powerhouse. It was really interesting to talk through this announcement that you made recently, and also just learn a little bit more about you as a leader and how your technology team is driving innovation at UWM. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate you having me, Diego. Thank you.